There's a certain type of sweet treat that has managed to captivate celebrities, tourists, and food lovers alike, and it's not just because of its colorful frosting or playful toppings. It's because this dessert has become a cultural icon, an edible piece of joy that represents indulgence, comfort, and creativity all in one bite. From Victoria's Secret angel Gisele Bündchen to pop star Rita Ora, from supermodel Chrissy Teigen to the legendary Beyoncé, and even former U.S. President Barack Obama, everyone has been charmed by this treat. Any guesses? Yes, we're talking about donuts, and not just any donuts, but the vibrant, over-the-top creations found in the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas. In the city that never sleeps, donut shops stay open 24/7, inviting locals and tourists to taste some of the most extravagant and mouth-watering creations you can imagine. But what makes these donuts so irresistible? Why do people line up late at night after concerts and casino runs, just to sink their teeth into one of these colorful delights? Today we're taking you behind the scenes of how the most famous donuts in Las Vegas are crafted, from the history that shaped them to the mesmerizing process that makes them so unforgettable. The history of the donut is as fascinating as the treat itself. While Las Vegas may have made donuts trendy and flashy, their origins go all the way back to 17th-century Dutch explorers. On long sea voyages, sailors needed energy-dense food that was easy to prepare, and so they fried small cakes in hot fat. These were called olykoeks or doyle cakes. When the Dutch settled in North America, they brought this tradition with them, planting the seeds of what would become one of America's most beloved desserts. But it wasn't until 1847 that the donut took on its now iconic ring shape. An American sailor named Hanson Gregory noticed that the center of fried cakes was often left raw and doughy. In a stroke of genius, he used a pepper shaker to punch a hole in the middle, ensuring that the dough cooked evenly. That simple innovation forever changed the shape of the donut, and it's the same ring we recognize today. By World War II, donuts had woven themselves into American culture, thanks in part to the Salvation Army's donut dollies, women who served fresh donuts to soldiers as a reminder of home. That connection between donuts, comfort, and joy never went away. By the 1970s, as Las Vegas grew into a global entertainment hub, donut shops began experimenting with wild flavors, enormous sizes, and creative toppings. These weren't just breakfast snacks anymore. They were tourist attractions, Instagram-worthy art pieces, and late-night indulgences that added to the magic of Vegas. So how do these Las Vegas donuts come to life? It all begins with the ingredients. Unlike mass-produced donuts that often cut corners, the most famous Vegas shops start with the finest flour, fresh eggs, pure butter, and just the right amount of sugar. Every batch is crafted with care to strike that perfect balance between airy lightness and satisfying chewiness. The mixing stage is critical. Overmix the dough and you end up with tough donuts, undermix and they lose their structure. Precision is everything, and expert bakers know exactly when to stop mixing. After that, the dough is allowed to proof or rise as the yeast works its magic. This isn't just science, it's almost like watching a living thing come to life. Slowly, the dough expands, building that soft texture we all crave. If you've ever peeked into a bakery kitchen, it's mesmerizing to see rows of dough gradually growing, like fluffy pillows waiting to be fried. Once the dough is ready, it's rolled out and shaped. In Las Vegas, efficiency matters, especially when donut shops are cranking out thousands of treats in a single day. Automatic cutters with rotating blades slice the dough into perfect rings, filled donuts, or even creative shapes like hearts and stars. Uniformity is key, ensuring that every donut looks just as good as the last. Imagine walking into a shop at 2 a.m. and seeing trays of perfectly shaped dough, waiting their turn to hit the fryer. It's a sight that sparks instant anticipation. And just to put things into perspective, Americans eat about 10 billion donuts every year. If you line them all up end to end, they could wrap around the earth 25 times. That staggering number shows just how much this sweet treat has embedded itself into American culture. But the real magic begins when the donuts hit the fryer. This is where science meets artistry. The cut dough is carefully placed into hot oil, and within seconds it begins to puff up, developing that signature golden brown crust. Automatic fryers ensure the temperature stays consistent, so each donut is cooked to perfection. Crispy on the outside, soft and pillowy on the inside. The smell is intoxicating. Imagine walking down the Las Vegas Strip, neon lights glowing above you, when suddenly a warm, buttery aroma wafts through the air. That scent alone can pull people through the doors of a donut shop. Some Vegas shops fry up to 2,000 donuts a day, each one freshly made, each one waiting to be decorated in the most outrageous ways possible. And the decorations are where Las Vegas truly sets itself apart. These aren't your average donuts with plain glaze or a dusting of powdered sugar. Here you'll find donuts topped with candy bars, breakfast cereals, marshmallows, bacon, or even entire slices of cheesecake perched on top. Some are stuffed with creams and custards so rich they burst with flavor the moment you take a bite. Others are coated in edible glitter, designed to sparkle under the city's dazzling lights. Tourists don't just eat these donuts, they photograph them, post them online, and make them part of their Vegas story. That's why so many celebrities can't resist sharing their donut indulgences on social media. In a city built on spectacle, donuts have become their own form of entertainment. The culture of donuts in Las Vegas isn't just about food, it's about experience. Picture this. It's 3 a.m., you've just walked out of a concert or casino, your energy is fading, and you stumble upon a shop serving piping hot donuts fresh from the fryer. That first bite is warm, sweet, and comforting, almost like a reset button for your senses. For locals, these shops offer a taste of home in a city that can sometimes feel overwhelming. For tourists, it's a souvenir you don't have to pack, a memory you can savor long after you've left the Strip. Donuts have become woven into the Las Vegas experience, as iconic as slot machines, showgirls, and neon signs. What's even more fascinating is how these shops constantly push the boundaries of creativity. New flavors appear seasonally, inspired by everything from holidays to pop culture trends. One month you might find donuts shaped like hearts for Valentine's Day filled with strawberry cream. The next you'll see Halloween-inspired creations with orange glaze and chocolate spider webs. The innovation never stops because in Las Vegas, there's always an audience hungry for the next big thing. That's part of the magic. The city reinvents itself constantly, and its donut shops follow suit. And beyond the glitz, donuts carry nostalgia. They remind us of childhood mornings, family trips to the bakery, or that simple joy of biting into something sweet with a hot coffee. In Las Vegas, that nostalgia collides with extravagance, creating something that feels both familiar and brand new. What is it about a donut that makes us stop in our tracks, our mouths watering, our hands itching to reach for just one more bite? Maybe it's the glossy glaze catching the light, maybe it's the sprinkles dancing across the surface, or maybe it's that first pillowy bite that makes us feel like kids again. In America, donuts are more than just a treat. They're an experience, a memory, and in some cities like Las Vegas, they've evolved into a canvas of creativity. Imagine walking into a shop on the Vegas Strip where the air is thick with the scent of fried dough, sugar, and vanilla. Behind glass cases, rows of donuts shimmer like jewels, each one coated, filled, or topped with something unexpected. This is where tradition meets innovation, and where even the simplest glazed donut feels like a luxury. Freshly fried donuts don't just go straight to your mouth. Once they leave the fryer, they're cooled just enough to be handled without melting the toppings. Then comes the magic moment. Picture warm rings of golden dough being slowly lowered into shimmering glaze, each one coated until it shines like it's wearing a sugar diamond jacket. The glaze hardens slightly, giving the donut that irresistible snap before you sink into the soft interior. But in Las Vegas, it doesn't stop with glaze. Here, toppings go from the classic to the outrageous. Think crushed cookies, colorful cereals, gooey caramel drizzles, toasted coconut, or even edible gold leaf. Some donuts look more like art installations than snacks, as if each one were carefully painted and sculpted before finding its way to your hands. And the flavors? Oh, the flavors. In most American towns you might find the usual suspects. Chocolate, vanilla cream, Boston cream, maple bars. But Vegas? This is the city where creativity never sleeps. Donut shops here release new flavors every single year, often 10 to 20 of them, because standing still just isn't an option. Shops compete not just with each other, but with the entire entertainment industry around them. They need to dazzle, to surprise, to deliver something Instagram-worthy every single time. That's why you'll stumble across limited edition holiday specials like pumpkin spice donuts in October, or Christmas tree-shaped creations coated in green icing and candy ornaments in December. These aren't rushed ideas thrown together at the last minute. Donut artisans research and test these flavors a full year in advance, perfecting every detail so that when the season rolls around, customers can't resist lining up. Take Halloween for example. Pumpkin-shaped donuts with orange frosting and little chocolate faces fly off the shelves. In fact, sales of these seasonal favorites spike by 50% compared to ordinary shapes. Why? Because a donut is no longer just food, it's part of the celebration, part of the tradition, and part of the story people tell when they gather with friends and family. And then there are the creations so wild they make national headlines. One Las Vegas shop, Donut Bar, introduced the Big Pop-Tart Donut, a massive pastry stuffed with an entire Pop-Tart inside. Yes, you heard that right. A donut and a Pop-Tart merged into one over-the-top bite of nostalgia and indulgence. It's no wonder customers and even media outlets couldn't stop talking about it. That's the magic of Las Vegas, where even a humble donut can turn into a spectacle worth traveling for. But here's something you may not realize. While these donut shops are busy dazzling our taste buds, they're also thinking seriously about the planet. In a city famous for neon lights, fountains, and endless entertainment, you might not expect much attention to sustainability. Yet many Las Vegas donut shops have made it a priority. One of the biggest changes is in packaging. Instead of relying on plastic or wasteful materials, shops are shifting to eco-friendly packaging made from recycled fibers and compostable products. According to sustainability studies, this simple switch can reduce plastic waste by up to 70%. That means the box your donuts come in is almost as thoughtful as the treats inside. Cooking oil is another area where innovation meets responsibility. Donuts require frying, and that means a lot of oil. In the past, once oil was used, it often went to waste. Today, however, many shops collect and recycle used oil, transforming it into biodiesel, a clean, renewable fuel source. Just 1 gallon of used cooking oil can be converted into 0.9 gallons of biodiesel, which helps reduce carbon emissions and supports cleaner energy initiatives. Think about it. The same oil that fries your morning maple bar could one day help power a bus or truck. That's the kind of full-circle sustainability Las Vegas shops are embracing. Inside the kitchens, modern machinery is designed not only for efficiency but also for energy savings. Automated fryers and glazers operate with precision, minimizing waste and cutting down on unnecessary power use. Meanwhile, many donut shops source organic and local ingredients whenever possible. Using locally grown wheat, eggs, and dairy not only enhances flavor and freshness but also reduces the carbon footprint associated with transporting ingredients from far away. Supporting local farmers strengthens the community and ensures that every bite has a little extra care baked into it. All of this proves that Las Vegas donut shops are more than just bakeries. They're hubs of creativity, sustainability, and culture. They combine the artistry of dessert making with a genuine effort to protect the environment. They know that today's customers aren't just looking for indulgence. They're looking for connection, for meaning, and for experiences they can share with others. Whether it's trying a Pop-Tart, stuffed creation, biting into a pumpkin-shaped treat at Halloween, or simply savoring a perfectly glazed classic, eating a donut in Las Vegas feels like being part of something bigger. So why should you visit? Because here, donuts are not just food, they're memories waiting to be made. They're the sweet surprise on a hectic day, the Instagram-worthy photo that makes your friends jealous, the indulgence that feels earned after a long night out. And when you take that bite, you're not only tasting sugar, flour, and oil, you're tasting creativity, tradition, and a city that never stops reinventing itself. Even better, you can enjoy it knowing the shop that made it is also taking steps to keep our planet a little greener. So next time you find yourself in Las Vegas, don't just head to the casinos or the shows. Step into one of the city's famous donut shops and treat yourself to something extraordinary. Maybe you'll discover a limited edition flavor, maybe you'll find comfort in a classic glaze, or maybe you'll stumble across a masterpiece you never even imagined could exist in donut form. Either way, you'll walk out with more than a snack. You'll leave with a story, a smile, and a taste of Las Vegas magic. And if this journey into the world of Las Vegas donuts has left you craving a bite, remember there's more where that came from. Like, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. What's the wildest donut flavor you've ever tried? Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another behind-the-scenes journey into the foods, flavors, and creations that make America's kitchens and factories so fascinating. Because just like Las Vegas itself, there's always another story waiting to be told, and another treat waiting to be discovered.